Hello, welcome to your lab for today. I'm going to post these slides to Google Classroom so you can look through them on your own, but I'm going to talk you through them and explain it so you'll kind of get the chance to um, see some examples of what we're talking about. So we're going to really quickly talk about DNA. So you watched that awesome video yesterday about DNA. And so just to remind you that humans have, let's get our pen set up here. Red pen, great. So humans have 46 chromosomes, right? We get 23 from each parent. So we get 23 from mom, 23 from dad. Together, that gives us 46 total. Each chromosome contains DNA that's wound up really, 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 really tightly. If we were to unwind it, it would look kind of like this, but it gets wound up really, really small. And then when we open up our DNA, we get what we call genes. So genes, come on, pen. So genes are very small chunks of DNA, and each gene codes for a different trait. So this might be the gene for eye color, this might be the gene for the shape of our nose, this might be the gene for whether or not we have diabetes, and so on and so forth. So genes are stretches of DNA that are found on our chromosomes. Remembering that we get genes from our parents, right? So I get some traits from my mom, some traits from my dad. The genes that I inherit from my parents determine my traits. So genes are always considered dominant or recessive, meaning that if I get a single dominant gene, I develop a widow's peak, which is that kind of V-shaped hairline. I only need one copy of that gene to give me a widow's peak. If I don't inherit it, I get this smooth hairline here, and I have two recessive copies of that gene. Right? So again, dominant traits only occur when I get one copy of the dominant gene. Recessive traits are usually more rare, but not all the time, because I have to have two recessive genes. But just because a gene is dominant doesn't mean that it's always more common. So, for example, brown hair is dominant. We see more people with brown hair. But there's this genetic trait called achondroplasia, which is dwarfism. And it's actually caused by a dominant gene. Well, we don't see a lot of people with dwarfism, even though it's a dominant gene, right? So this is a TV show that was on a couple years ago. The mom and the dad here are both dwarfs. They have achondroplasia. They had one son with dwarfism and another that did not. And last thing, males are XY, females are XX. We get one from mom, one from dad. So everyone's always going to get an X from mom, and dad will either give you an X or a Y.